And we have a super show for you with Burt Reynolds, Jay Leno, Jack Douglas, and this lady who is most talented. She is most talented, and she's going to have her own 90-minute special. The special is called An Evening with Diana Ross, which will going to trace her life and career on the big event this Sunday night. Would you welcome? It's a great pleasure, Diana Ross. How you been? You've been on tour, haven't you, for a while?
I just got back. We got back 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it was a 6-week tour. Went to a lot of cold weather, Chicago,
You were back
below
east.
zero weather. And I came home to catch a cold.
Yeah, isn't that
Chicago,
strange, though?
Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Boston, and Detroit. I went home.
Yeah.
Went home.
It's funny, when you're in a cold weather like that, you never catch cold, but you come out here, and the
Yes.
temperature changes, and everybody falls apart.
Actually, I found it colder last night, you know, after the wind than it was
It's
over
a
there.
little strange here.
Yeah.
I bet it did not hurt your attendance so one bit, that kind of cold weather.
I don't play tennis very much.
No, I mean your attendance.
Oh, my
Attendance.
attendance. Oh, you know, I think about that because most of the time when I see
you're
you,
right. I'm
it's
talking
at tennis games, right?
Yeah.
No, it did not. It did not. In fact, I found in Detroit that it was so nice to be back home. I found myself
That's home, rather.
doing more talking than singing. Yes, Detroit's home.
All your old friends. How do you handle it when a lot of people that you know, you don't have time to see all your old friends, of course, and they call you, they say, hey, why don't you come over, Dinah, and have a little dinner tonight and just sit around, and it's tough, isn't it, sometimes, when you
Well,
just don't
actually,
have the time and you can't do it
this
all.
trip in Detroit, I made time to see all of my friends, and I made time to see 250 students, high school students and college students who wanted. It's amazing when you leave home and then come back, and then all of a sudden they want to know, they want some advice. You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I said, why should I be giving advice or saying, I can only tell you what's happened with me and what's happened to my life. And in the 15 years of my career, I got a chance to. And it was really very important because it was the kids I was talking to and
And
not
they're
the
bright,
interviews.
aren't
Oh, man, the questions that they asked me.
I mentioned last night, I had gone back to Harvard for the weekend, and they had a bunch of students from the performing arts, and they were asking questions like they ask of all performers. And they're so bright in the questions they ask. But you can give them advice because, at least relating to mistakes or good
Well,
decisions that you've made.
I think...
What did you tell them?
Not
The first
as
thing
much.
they say, how do you get into show business, right?
Well, yeah, I can tell them exactly what happened to
Right.
me. I can't really give advice exactly because what's right or wrong for a person may be completely different from myself.
Absolutely.
But I just tell them what happened for me and what I found out worked for me in my career and what really can work for you on the stage, you know.
Yeah.
And I do that. I give that advice, if that is advice, all the time.
That's
you know.
good advice. I always say when they say get into show business, I say the smart thing is to have another profession on the side or have another talent.
Yes?
Like a sheep herder. You know, if this fails, you can always, herd sheep or something. Not dramatic, and you don't get a big hand for it, but...
I usually say to a question like that, really be devoted to it and believe in yourself.
Right.
And if you totally, I think if they totally do get involved in that, it really is not, you can, get another job, but if you believe in what you're going to do,
And stay with it.
stay with it, yeah.
We're going to come back and talk some more, so stay right where you are. We'll be right back. Well, what's the thing you miss most when you're on the road? I know the things you probably hate, as all performers, are hotel rooms and...
Well, this particular tour, I did find out that all tours are the same. It doesn't matter whether you're starting out when I was starting with the
Right.
Supremes years ago, that all the tours are the same. You find yourself spending many hours in the hotel room. On the first part of this tour, I took my kids with me, which was wonderful because they would wake me up at 7 o'clock in the morning after I've been up very late. But,
Yes.
And they stayed 3 weeks, and then they went home for the second 2 weeks. And I missed them, actually. It is boring. You read a lot. You watch a lot of television and
Do you ever know
exercise.
hotels and television never work very good? A lot of snow and a lot of lines like this. And those... You're so successful now, and I suppose most people looking from the outside saying, wow, there's a girl who started in Detroit, a poor background, and became so successful. Is there any one thing that as soon as you became successful, you said, hey, I'm going to get for myself?
Well,
a lot of people, they say, I'm going to go buy the great fur coat, or I'm going to get me a big diamond ring, or something, maybe just complete luxury or silly or whatever.
The first thing that I bought when we started to earn really nice salary. I bought a home for my mother in Detroit. And I think that...
That's all.
So that was nice. The second thing I bought myself a car. I'm one of the women that really, I love cars.
You
and I
car
love
freak?
to drive myself, yes. I love taking care of them. I could be a mechanic or something. And besides that, my car didn't start this morning.
Is there really one thing that, this silly thing that you wanted?
Well,
Or that you wouldn't buy for yourself?
Well, actually,
Yeah.
I had always decided I would never buy myself diamonds. That was something my man was supposed to get for me. But I don't have any diamonds. What is this?
That didn't go over. That wasn't the biggest hit with the guys here. So you said you wouldn't buy yourself any diamonds.
I
That
thought
should be
maybe
the
not.
thought.
That was something that should be nice gifts for me, you know. But I've had to purchase them myself.
Man didn't come through with the big things, huh? The special tomorrow is based, I know, on your life, your career, basically. You want
Is
to
it
just...
tomorrow? It's a
When did I
6th,
say?
Sunday.
A 6th, I'm sorry, on Sunday night.
I don't know. I'm off time too.
Is that basically the premise of your different facets of your life and career?
An evening with Diana Ross started I sat down and I talked about all the things that I might really like to do for a change for myself. Right. I've been doing shows that were really produced for me. Somebody decides which song you sing and what you say. And actually, I go on an incredible memory kind of trip, if you want to call it. And it's heartwarming to me because on this particular special, I used a lot of memories of the Supremes and the good old days.
Yeah, that's great.
And I've had a wonderful, exciting career. Every time I think it's been 15 years, which is half my life. You know,
That doesn't seem possible already.
Really, it's really been super. So and some of the funny things that happen, you know, on stage, like on the Sullivan Show, when we were tap dancing, really doing choreography, and I slipped and almost fell, but I came back smiling, you know, stuff like that. And
Ed said, great, that's fine, really good, really good.
But did you know Ed Sullivan could never remember our names? He never could.
I know, we
all
make
of a sudden he
jokes
said,
about
and
it.
here they are, the girls here,
Right.
you know, or whatever.
Bless his soul. We were sitting around the other night with a bunch of people, Harvey Korman, a lot of people. We started talking about Ed Sullivan, whom we all liked, and we'd all done his shows.
Yes.
And even Ed kidded himself about it. He would just have those periods on the show where things would go. I remember he had Rosemary Clooney on the show one night, and she just had a monumental hit, and her career couldn't have been going better. And Ed came out and had this big introduction. He one of the really great recording stars, and all seen her motion pictures and nightclubs. Let's really make her feel at home. And the eyeballs danced, and you knew it was gone, and the introduction was, come on out here, honey. That was it.
It's really...
It just went. Lots of wonderful stories.
Lots of that. Once we made a quick change on the stage on the Sullivan Show, and I got locked in the elevator. And he could, Diana Ross will be fired for this, you know. But those are wonderful things that I put into this special. Actually, it's like a story about my beginnings, and you were kidding in the front of the show about roots.
Right.
Because it's really about my roots, how it all started, and the wonderful years with the Supremes, which is almost a chunk of musical history for me in itself.
Well, of course
and
it is.
the Super Duper Supremes.
Remember that? And
Yes.
here they are.
Yes.
Those are the girls.
And in fact, Sunday, the 6th, is Mary's birthday, Mary Wilson's birthday, which is terrific. Also, what happened in the string of events is after Lady Sings the Blues, I started being involved with a lot of the women in show business. In other words, what had happened before me, like the Trailblazers, or what made it possible that I could do the kind of show that I do and be able to work the kind of audiences, and what had gone really before me. And by doing that, one time we were sitting in the meeting, you know, I said, I wonder if all of these ladies, and speaking of ladies, there was about 3 that were really important at that point because people had asked me if I would play their lives, like Josephine Baker and so on. They wanted me to really talk about that because actually it came out so extremely magical in there that they thought maybe people wouldn't really know that it was me, because after the makeup was done and the costumes
How
were...
did they make you? You're slender. How did they make you so?
Well, and the most makeup was with Ethel Waters.
Right.
Bessie Smith wasn't as much, and Josephine Baker was basically the eyes and teeth, you know. But really, the guy that did the makeup was extraordinary. His name was Stan Winston. He did incredible makeup jobs on Man in the Glass Booth and also in Cicely Tyson's movie.
Did he do the Jane autobiography of Jane Pittman?
Yeah, he did that. He's incredible.
Wow.
But the makeup and after the costumes, which is done by Bob and Ray Mackey, the costumes, and then all of a sudden, my voice started to sound different. And they're different, three completely different personalities of women, yes. Yet I felt it was different faces with the same woman because the situations were very different.
Isn't that funny when you step into a role or a costume and makeup that you take on, you all of a sudden feel different?
Incredible, because things happen that I know that I normally do not do. Like with Bessie Smith, I finally ended up taking off my shoes so I can get, she's very down to earth, you know.
Right.
And Josephine Baker was hot, you know, very hot lady, but very deep, very heavy in her thinking, intelligent woman. And Ethel Waters, very spiritual kind of feeling. But it was just lots of... I had everybody to leave the theater when I did it that night because I wanted, you know, to be able to kind of just stay loose and whatever happened, happened.
Yeah.
And so they got a few photographs of it all, you know.
Like a stream of consciousness, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Gee, I know you've got to run tonight. The special is this Sunday
Yes.
on NBC, the big event. Whatever time zone it plays, I suppose it's 10 o'clock.
I think 9:30.
9:30?
Really sure.
9:30
Yes.
to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I
8
have an 8 o'clock over here.
8 o'clock,
It's the big
9:30.
event this coming Sunday on NBC, so check it out. Hey, thank you, darling, for being here tonight.
Johnny.
Really,
Thank
it's always
you.
a great
Okay,
kick.
thank you.
Thank you, man. Not a bad way to start off a show, is it? And we have Burt Reynolds backstage. I assume Burt is back there. And we have Jack Douglas, crazy writer Jack Douglas, and Jay Leno, a clever young comedian for you. And we'll be right back after this.